Hello, my name is Lorene, and I'm just a new voice out here. Just wanted to encourage others. I've been around for a long time. I'm actually in my 50s. I don't look it, thank God. But there's been some things on my heart and mind that I've been pondering for quite some time. And it's really something when you're a person that's pretty much an introvert, even though I am an extrovert in some instances, but I'm a thinker and I'm someone that watch and observe and I encounter a lot of people. And I would probably say honestly that I am someone that those who know me and are around me, I'm the go-to person when they're stressed out and want encouragement. And so, I really was thinking about it. There's things that I want to say and I feel I have to need to say it because sometimes you could be so full with a bunch of stuff and you yourself have to release those things. You cannot always be the one that are constantly, being filled with other people's issues and whatever. And sometimes you have to release those things. And so, having said all of that, I'm going to occasionally vlog. Don't know how much I can commit to that time, but occasionally I will be coming on here on YouTube and just sharing some thoughts and maybe hearing your thoughts, and we can talk about some things. Who am I? I'm just one voice. I am a single parent of an adult child. I did raise them primarily by myself with the help of God. I do have a degree in psychology, but this is not what this is about. I am a minister. This is not what this is about. So everything on here won't be preachy. It's just encouragement because I believe that sometimes you need encouragement. Sometimes you go through different things and there's not anyone that you can really talk to, you can reach out to because everyone else is going through their own things. And so therefore what's important to them is their priority. And you have to now yourself, it comes a point in your life where you have to deal with some things of yourself and you have no one to talk to. So I just hope that while I'm out here, as long as I feel the urge to be out here and the leading to be out here, that I will say something encouraging to you. So having said all that, today I want to think about depression. I want to speak to that. I'm not the guru of depression, so I don't have all the answers. But having grown up in an environment where depression has been very prevalent in my family, I have some aunts and a sibling that have suffered with clinical depression. It's a monster. It is very real. There are times where you will need medication. You have some people that have chemical imbalances. But then there are some that, for the most part, have pretty much been very sound in their reasoning in life. Things have come upon them unawares, and they were always able to muster through it and get through it. But then came a roadblock in their life where everything came crashing down. The mighty man no longer had the strength to rise up again, and you found yourself in a dark place, in a place where you could not express and you're screaming loud and no one is hearing you. You're in the midst of a lot of people, but you're very lonely. When you lay down at night and your thoughts are racing and you begin to scan over the course of your life and you see some of your plans that you had aspired to did not come to fruition. And some of those people that you have put your hope and trust in, they failed you, or they're no longer on the scene, or things begin to get out of whack. And it was like a moving train that was without a conductor. I've been there. And when you're a very powerful person or a person that has a strong resolve and you're the go-to person that everybody goes to, who do you go to when you need help? Who can you really be for real with? Who can you share your heart with and your thoughts with that won't judge you or take you or make you feel like everything that you said to others were pretty much scripted, that it wasn't truth? Hey, I'm here to tell you that it's in your thoughts. It's what you think about yourself that can pull you out of where you're at. It's what you think about who you are and who you are as a person. And it's really about who God says that you are. Maybe you're not a Bible believer, maybe you don't go to church, but there's something on the inside, a little small voice that when you would quit, it tells you you can make it. There's something when you feel a depression come upon you, but there's something greater on the inside of you that's telling you, I can make it through this day. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So my question to you is, what are you thinking about? What are you really thinking about? Because some of those thoughts and some of that depression that you're going through is what's traveling through your thought life. Maybe there's something that you thought about a little too much, or you receive a lot of negative input or feedback around those that are around you. And you begin to take that in as your personal issue. And the more you think on these things, the more you meditate on these things, those things begin to weigh you down. I went through some recent mind-blowing things that were very, very troubling to me. And though I'm naturally an upbeat person, I began to feel like I was going into a dark place where I could even pray. A preacher that can't pray. Yeah, I got to that point that I couldn't pray because it was everything that I was thinking about. I began to take my mind off of positive things and, how I got through certain things and begin to rehash some things that happened that should not have happened. And the more I begin to think about those things and think about the negative side of everything, I began to feel the weight of it. And I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to encourage another soul. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I began to isolate myself because depression will allow you to isolate yourself. And hey, I'm not a depressed person, but it was the thoughts that I was having, the thoughts that I was nurturing. Instead of taking those thoughts and holding them captive, taking those thoughts and begin. And sometimes somebody speaking to themselves is not that they're crazy. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself, as David did in the scriptures. He encouraged himself in the Lord. Sometimes you're not going to have people around you to pat you on your back and say it's going to be all right. You're going to make it out of it. I had to look in the mirror and say, girl, you bigger than this. You better than this. This has gotten out of control. Okay, get it together. You hate depression. This is not what you're about. And I don't receive those negative thoughts. I don't receive the report of what people have said. I don't know how you're going to get out of this. I don't know where is God in this. What happened to you? I remember when you had this and you did that and this, that, and the other. It was all this negativity. And I had to get alone by myself for a season because in that season, I had to go and reassess what my beliefs were. What did I believe about God? What did I believe about myself? What did I believe about my life? What do I believe about my future? And I had to silence all those negative voices that were around me. Now, were they there to hurt me? Were some of these comments intentional? No, because people will only speak to what they believe and where they're at in their life. And maybe they're projecting some of that negativity onto you. But sometimes you have to be selfish. And you have to pull yourself aside and you have to get you together. And once you get you together, and sometimes it's good to go back to the starting point when you first believe or why you ventured out to go to school. School may be rough, but what was your main goal in going to school? You could have done something else differently, but you decided to go to school because you had a goal, you had a vision, you had a purpose. So these are the things sometimes you have to isolate yourself and get to yourself and begin to work through those things. Sometimes you may have to write it down, write your thoughts down on a piece of paper. Because sometimes anything that you're being full up with and there's no release, you're going to implode. You might snap. But the truth of the matter is that you can change. The situation can change. And it first begins with you. It begins with you reassessing what you're thinking about. It begins with you reassessing, what am I doing in this life? What are my goals? Okay, I may have exceeded a certain age. Maybe the reality of it is that was a foolish desire. But okay, I'm at this place right now. Where do I go from here? Get a plan. Make a plan. And then even if that plan, you only share it with the person that believes in you. But first you got to believe in yourself. You cannot share your plan with everybody because people are dream killers. And it's not to be negative, but it's the truth of the matter. Maybe you haven't gotten as far as you wanted to go because you didn't have the support or those people encouraging you and pushing you to go forward. Whatever the situation may be, just know if you are not clinically depressed, meaning that you're not diagnosed with that, and this is something that has taken you unaware, take it for what it really is. It is just a season, it's just a moment. You will get through this, but don't be overcome with negative thoughts. Regain your life, and it all starts with you. I know I was all over the place. I've never done anything like this on social media before. It's different when you're up in front of a crowd or you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone. It's different when you're sitting in front of a camera and you're letting your thoughts flow. I may not be for everybody, but I hope while I do this type of inspiration that I'm desiring to do is to share. I'm hoping that it will touch somebody, and that's all this is what it's about. Love you.